spent the night with a stranger, and when I got home, everything was gone, including my husband.
It's weird trying to write this out. I know I'm going to get a lot of stick for it from most of the people who would read this because I even condemn these actions. To be honest, I wouldn't be doing this if I was instructed to by my therapist. People have read it, this isn't one of those AITA stuff because I know already that I was an arsehole. I am simply writing this to see if it could help my moving on and as I said before, because my therapist specifically said I should. My boyfriend of 3 years left without saying a word when he found me with another man. Well, he actually was my fiancé. The event occurred just a week before our wedding and I've been distraught ever since. I grew up a carefree young girl, a girl who did whatever it was that made her happy irregardless of who I hurt in the process. I had lost a number of friends because of this and I never thought I'd lose the only person I've loved so dearly also. I, F22 then, met Jake, who was 26 then, at a bar on Patty's Day. He was the only one not wearing green in the bar that day. He walked up to me and delivered a funny first line. "Hey, leprechaun, here's your pot of gold," he said as he opened his palm to reveal that indeed he had some pot. I was already a little bit tipsy, so I said why not if not and joined him outside for a drag. "So, Mr. Pot of Gold, this really is good stuff, but I must ask you, why aren't you wearing green?" I said as I dragged a little and passed the blunt to him. "I don't live by the rules of society," he responded as he took another drag. We talked for hours that night, both of us high as clouds. I asked him to roll another blunt, but he quickly turned it down. Sure, he had enough pot for at least 2 more blunts, but he wasn't smoking anymore cause that day was actually the first day he smoked ever. He told me how he had always seen me at the bar on occasions, and how he had learned that I smoked. He admitted that that initially put him off, but he just wanted to talk to me more than he cared that I smoked. He even added that if we were to be together, I'd have to quit down the line. I thought that was bold of him, already talking about being together at the first meeting. I didn't know if it was him or the weed talking, but I laughed when he said it. He was cute actually, had a nice jawline, was tall and from the way his clothes were fitted to him, he was also quite fit. I thought to myself, this would be fun, as I decided to go with the flow. I don't know if it was the high also on my part, but something about him felt comforting. His deep raspy baritone voice, the way he spoke with so much pizzazz, I was almost a foot shorter than he was so I felt like I could cozy up to him. That was how I met him. He said he was already in love with me and it showed from the first day. It didn't take long for me to meet him where he was, for me to fall hopelessly and helplessly in love with him. He texted me immediately after he got home, which made me feel on top of the world. We went out together a lot after meeting that day. We were in what most people in my generation would call a talking stage for about 4 months. We shared everything about ourselves with each other. He taught me how to prepare his favorite meal and I did likewise. It wasn't long before we knew every detail about one another. I still remember our first kiss. It was at a wedding we gate crashed. He was at my place and we were playing Monopoly together. He all of a sudden turned to me and said, "You know what would be so fun right now?" I asked what and he said, "If we crashed a party." I asked what kind of party it was and he said he'd rather not tell, but I better bring my A game. I f***ing brought it. We took a taxi to the place, not so far from where I lived but not so close that we could walk there. The cab driver greeted us like we were a couple and asked where we were headed. I was about to say we weren't together, but he cut me off with his laughing and said, "My girlfriend is about to make someone's bride feel second best at her own wedding." The cab driver nodded in approval and drove to the address he was given. "You know we're not dating, right?" I said to Jake. "Shh," he started, "don't worry, after the night we'll have today we definitely will be," he added, as he put his jacket around me. I lost all the words in my mouth. I wanted to ask him why he didn't say it was a wedding, if he knew who was getting married, and why he decided on crashing a party he wasn't invited to. I couldn't make up the sentences. I was really blushing hard cause of that sentence. When we arrived at the wedding, it turned out that he knew quite a lot of the people there. The way they looked at me made me feel like I wasn't supposed to be there, which was true cause neither of us should have been there. When the wedding started, I asked him the questions I wanted to ask. He told me the groom was a close friend of his, that is until they both fell in love with the same lady, the bride. He told me how one day whilst playing FIFA 14, they had talked about how to remedy the situation. Since neither of them was willing to back down, they had decided to settle it with a game. Winner got to talk to her and the other had to stay clear. He had lost the game and decided he wasn't going to stick around much. He wished his friend good luck and left what he called a love chain. According to him, the two were in love with her and she loved the two also. So that day was the first time he spoke with either of them since he lost the FIFA 14 match. I thought I was crazy how men made pacts based on games in SHI, and even crazier that they do keep to those pacts. Well, it was none of my business. Later at the reception, the three friends caught up. Jake shared a dance with the bride. I must admit, even though she was already married, I still got a little jealous seeing them dance together, because of what he had said earlier. "Is that jealousy on your face?" Jake asked as he did the slight gentlemanly bow that notioned me to have a dance with him. I took his hand and we started dancing. "I thought you said we weren't together, you have no right to be jealous, you know," he added. "What if I wanted a right to be jealous?" I said. "What? Did I just say that?" Jake really had a way of making me reveal my true desires. He smiled at me. We danced on, but now he had pulled me closer to him and I could feel his heart beating against the top of my head. He whispered sweet nothings in my ear. When the dance was coming to an end, he raised my head with his hands, looked me in the eyes, and said those three words that would make anyone feel on top of the world. Then he kissed me. For what felt like a long time, my face was red hot and I had butterflies in my stomach. After the kiss, whilst still looking me dead in the eyes, he said, "Now you have the right to be jealous." Then he laughed. Oh, what beautiful smile he had. Writing this on here is making me tear up, guys. I really don't know how I ruined such a beautiful thing in less than 4 hours. I honestly won't be writing this if I wasn't told to. It hurts to have to recall every memory we shared cause I'm being hit hard by the fact that I really it all up. I had what every woman prayed to have and I it up. I really let my stupid actions ruin it. We spent every passing day together. He was a web developer, so he did most of his job remotely, only having to show up at the office once or twice a week. One of the many things I loved about him was how he had his life in order. Most people his age were just starting up, just figuring things or just making it up as they went. Not him. He lived a near-perfect lifestyle. 2 years into our relationship, I had already quit smoking for a year. He really did call it. We had started living together and since I didn't have a job then, I was home most of the time. I normally smoked when I was bored, tired, or unhappy. I was never any of those when I was with him. So it didn't even click that I haven't smoked for a long time until he pointed it out. In and around our 2nd year, my younger sister got married. To her high school sweetheart. I was happy for her, honestly I was, but as we all know, watching your younger sibling get married before you normally tends to hit a nerve. It did hit a nerve for me, *Q sarcastic fake laugh. I went with my dear Jake to the wedding. He noticed something being off about me at the reception, stating that he knows when I'm genuinely happy and when I'm happy and also sad about something. He was persistent in getting me to talk about it, telling jokes and all. Well, it worked. I told him how happy I was that my sister was getting, and how it was good that she didn't have to get hurt by a man or get her heart broken. I told her how I knew she was a very soft and fragile girl and how I was always worried that she might have to go through being cheated on or any of such heartbreaking relationships things. I told him how it made sense that she, of all my other sisters, myself included, was the one who got the fairy tale love story. Then I went on to talk about what really bothered me. While growing up, my family always made jokes about how I'd probably be the last one to get married. It was a running theme in the house, so much so that my nickname at home is still Runaway Bride. I told him how, as we stood there dancing, I was the only single one amongst us. It wasn't something I thought he'd understand and didn't. He was always someone who didn't really care much about getting married. His words, "If I get to have that love that had made me think about getting married, I'd do it no questions asked, but I won't be mad if I don't get married." He tried for a few seconds to comfort me, and after failing to be able to, he got up and left. I thought he was done with the wedding. I wanted to follow him home, but he said no, that I should stay back. He only wanted to get the wedding gift he left in the car. When he came back, he and I went to present our gift to the newlyweds. After doing so, he went straight to the DJ and asked for a microphone. I wondered what for. He started by thanking the family for welcoming him. He praised the couple's longevity and said that he admired what they have. Then, he called me forward. I didn't even know what for, and the look on my face told that I didn't. Sorry, Ralph, I know you and your lovely wife didn't imagine that something other than your wedding would be going on today. He started, everyone laughed. Jessica, don't worry, when you play this back you'd love what's about to happen right now, but for now, let the couple share a kiss for the crowd. Kiss, kiss, kiss. The crowd joined the chant until the two had kissed. Now that the couple has kissed, I can change the topic. Now, Jellybean, remember when I told you that if I get to have that love that had made me think about getting married, I'd do it no questions asked? Well, I'm grateful God brought you to me, he started. You've brightened up my world, and in the years we've known each other, we've been nothing short of inseparable. I've been wanting to do this for a few weeks now, but I think it's fate that I'm doing this today. Remember when we first kissed? It was at a wedding. So now, at another wedding, I'd like to ask you this question. Wait, is he about to do what I think he's about to do? I thought to myself, I was starting to get flustered. He got on one knee and pulled a box out of his coat pocket. Oh my gosh, he is. I couldn't contain my happiness anymore. I started vibrating like a toddler who's had a lot of sugar. My runaway bride, would you like to have the right to be jealous for the rest of our lives together? That was so cheesy of him, using the same words he said when we first kissed again. I was really happy he was asking me to marry him. I screamed yes, and jumped on him. We both fell to the ground. The crowd laughed and clapped. Before I go on, I'd like to leave advice for any woman who's planning her wedding. Don't think too much about it. The wedding itself doesn't matter, it's the marriage that matters. The rest of your life that comes after that one day is what matters. Well, planning the wedding was really stressful. This, coupled with the fact that I had just gotten a job, both messed with my head. My husband-to-be only asked for one thing, well actually two. No bachelors or bachelorettes party, and also that he wanted to wear a traditional outfit of the Igbo tribe in Nigeria called Akwa on that day. Funny thing is, as I got into every single detail of the wedding planning, getting frustrated, angry always, and sometimes transferring aggression on my Jake. He was calm, helped me calm down when I was tense. He'd tell me that he didn't care about the wedding, all he wanted was me. Looking back, I don't even understand why that made me angry. When the wedding was around the corner, I decided I needed to unwind or treat myself because I was stressed the out. I decided to tell my maid of honor to throw me a bachelorette after all. Which she did happily. Explaining that to him wasn't going to be easy, so I thought I'd try to make it seem like it was his idea. I tried every single manipulating tactic I had learned on him, none worked. He always responded with the same 6 words, I only asked for 2 things. Then, a week to the bachelorettes, I decided to come clean. He was furious, really was. I didn't know why he was. I didn't see why me holding a party to cool off for myself would be a big deal, so big that he didn't even sleep at home the night I told him. I got very mad at him for not understanding why I wanted the party anyway. I was pissed at him for only seeing it as a betrayal of trust. I was really angry at him because he made me feel bad about a party meant for me to unwind. Every time I tried to apologize, he said the only apology he'd accept was me calling off the party. I didn't. Well, 2 days into the party, he called me to the room and apologized for overreacting. He said he understood why I would want the party and that I should go have fun. I finally had my way. At the party there were a lot of male strippers. My maid of honor was a real slut, no kidding she was. A few of the men were very sexy, I won't lie, but I initially only wanted this party to dance and forget the stress I had had in the last 3 months. 5 shots down the line I was tongue deep inside one of the strippers. While I was in the middle of my foolishness, I noticed a figure that looked like that of my Jake. I thought it impossible that he'd be there. I don't what really occurred next, all I knew was that I had way too much to drink. waking up the next day with a real bad hangover. I saw a man sleeping next to me so naturally I thought it was my man. When I walked out of the room, I noticed that I didn't know this apartment. My slutty friends all shrieked at me, then they kept asking me how it was. Was he good? Did he make you come? Did you know Jake came here? Wait, hold the on. I rushed back to the room and saw that the man in the room was one of the strippers. No, did I just sleep with one of the strippers? Wait, did I hear someone say Jake came over here? I rushed out of the room and out of the apartment. I headed for my place. When I got there, the echo from me putting my key in the lock was something else. When I walked in, a note fell on me from the top of the door where it was. The note read, "Hope it was worth it." I looked up and saw my place flipping empty. The only things left were the things I bought myself. Jake had moved everything he owned in the house out. I wept. I wept. I still have the note with me. I keep it as a reminder not to up the good things I have going on. I tried to call Jake, nothing. Tried to text, nothing. I went on WhatsApp to text him there. That was when I saw it. His last status update read, "It's over guys, wedding's off." He had blocked me on all platforms and had cleared everything he had in this place. There wasn't any chance of ever seeing him again. That was 3 years ago. The lack of closure makes it harder to forget him. 3 years of therapy hasn't done its job, which was to help me move on from the hurt which I had caused myself. I had to explain to my family why I wasn't getting married again. They were all disappointed in me. I don't think I'll be able to move on from this. I know I don't even have the right to ask for anything. I really wish I could find happiness again after blowing this one. I know people don't always get a second chance, but I really need to be happy. It's been 3 years and I've been miserable. Jake, if you're seeing this, I'm sorry, I still love you.
Hey Reddit, Randy here. At 52, I've seen a lot of life, the kind you'd expect from a guy who spent a good chunk of his years in the military. Now, I'm the guy who ensures things stay safe and sound, running my own private security firm. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. It's about Amber, my wife, and how our lives have taken a turn I never saw coming. Amber and we've been the kind of couple that folks in our small town of Boulder, Colorado, would look at and say, they've got it figured out. We met way back when I was fresh out of service, and she was this vibrant spirit, passionate about every little green thing that poked out of the earth. Her love for botany wasn't just a hobby, it was her life's work. She's got hands that have coaxed life out of the barren winter ground, and she's known for transforming the community garden into a slice of Eden. We've been side by side for 27 years, and not once did I imagine that our paths would be anything but parallel. We supported each other's dreams, her with her blossoming projects and me with my firm. We were the team that could handle anything thrown our way, or so I thought. I've always believed in the basics, loyalty, honesty, and the kind of trust you can only build over years of sticking it out through thick and thin. Amber, with her gentle smiles and her way of making everyone feel like they mattered, seemed to be right there with me. But life has a way of throwing you curveballs, and this one hit me right in the gut. It all started to change when she hit 50. There was a shift, like the kind you feel before a storm breaks. Suddenly, the woman who'd been my rock wanted something different. She wanted an open marriage, a concept so far out of left field for me that it might as well have been in another language. And I, trying to hold on to the image of us that I cherished, agreed to it. If I'm being honest, it felt like agreeing to slowly poison what we had, but I did it anyway, for her. The story I'm laying out here isn't your usual Reddit tale of woe and heartbreak. It's messy, it's raw, and it's real. It's about what happens when the person you built your world around decides they want to change the blueprints without you. It's not just about what Amber did, it's about how I handled it, with the kind of bluntness and cold strategy that my background taught me. So where were we? Right, the birthday bash. Amber's 50th. It was a shindig that would have made the social pages if we cared about that sort of thing. Our backyard was decked out like the botanical gardens themselves. Amber's doing, of course. She's got a knack for making things beautiful. Exotic plants that I can't pronounce the names of, fairy lights in the trees, and this fragrance in the air that was like stepping into another world. It was something else, let me tell you. All our friends were there, the grill was going, and Amber was floating through the crowd like some kind of earth goddess, all smiles and laughter. Hey everyone. Unfortunately, basically everyone who is watching these videos isn't subscribed. It would mean the world to me to quickly get out of the full screen video for 3 seconds and press that subscribe button. It's free, and you can unsubscribe anytime. Sorry for bothering, and thank you so much if you subscribed. I watched her, proud as any man could be of his wife, thinking we were celebrating another milestone we'd reached together. Little did I know, we were on the edge of a cliff I didn't even see. After the guests had left and the quiet of the night settled in, Amber sat me down on the porch. The air was still warm, and the only light was from the dying embers of the barbecue, and those fairy lights now seeming more like a stage set for what was about to unfold. "Randy," she said, and I could tell this was going to be one of those conversations that changes everything. "I've been doing a lot of thinking about what I want in my life, what makes me happy." I remember nodding, still clueless, thinking maybe she wanted to travel or start a new project. But then she dropped the bomb. "I want us to have an open marriage." I swear the world stopped spinning for a second. Open marriage? My brain couldn't wrap around it. This was Amber, my Amber, talking about seeing other people. Like dating? Like sleeping around? I felt like I'd been punched. This wasn't us. This was some Hollywood drama nonsense, not Randy and Amber from Boulder. I didn't get it. Was I not enough? Did I do something wrong? Questions were firing off in my head like a machine gun, but I just sat there, looking at her, trying to find the woman I thought I knew in her eyes. She talked about freedom, exploration, about being honest with each other and ourselves. She had it all thought out, said it would be good for us, that it was modern. Modern? I'm a simple man. I believe in one person for life, the vows we took seriously. This was out of my league. But here's the kicker. I said yes. I don't know if it was the shock, the fear of losing her, or some messed up sense of love that made me do it. I agreed to this open marriage thing. Inside I was screaming, but I kept it all in. That's what I do. I keep things secure, even if it's my own breaking heart. Amber, bless her, has never been one for gadgets. Give her a pot of soil and a seed and she's happy. But after that night on the porch, she got herself a new smartphone. Not just any phone, the latest, shiniest one that makes mine look like something out of the dark ages. At first, I thought it was sweet. Good for her, I told myself, embracing the new tech. She was all thumbs at the start, but man, did she get the hang of it fast. Suddenly, she's talking greenhouse climate control systems, moisture sensors, and rare orchids that need just the right amount of everything to bloom. She was in deep, always chatting away in these forums and groups. Or so I thought. Then came the night that changed the game. I'd woken up midnight or something, thirsty for a glass of water. I shuffled into the kitchen, and that's when I heard her, soft as a whisper, but clear as day. "I miss you," she breathed into the phone, and it wasn't about missing the sunlight or the rain. There was a tenderness there, the kind that used to be for me. My heart, folks, it didn't just sink, it plummeted. I stood there, in the dark, the glass of water forgotten in my hand, feeling like someone had just told me the world was flat. This wasn't about climate control or plant species. This was something else, something personal. Now, I've been trained to handle all kinds of threats, to stay cool when the pressure's on, but this was a different kind of adversary. It was betrayal, and it was living in my house, sleeping in my bed. I didn't confront her, not then. I needed to know more, to understand what was happening before I blew it all up. So I did what any guy with a background in security would do. I started paying attention. I became a ghost in my own life, watching, listening, picking up on every little detail that I'd been too blind to see before. It was time to gather intel, to figure out who was encroaching on my territory. And that, Reddit, is how I went from being a husband to a sleuth in my own marriage. It's not a role I ever wanted, but there I was, piecing together a puzzle I wasn't sure I wanted to see completed. But I'm a man who believes in facing the truth, no matter how ugly it might be. So I braced myself, ready to dig deeper. Hey, Reddit, back again. It's Randy. So, after hearing Amber on the phone that night, things got weird at home. It was like we were both pretending everything was fine, but it wasn't. Then one day, I'm alone at the house and decide to poke around in Amber's greenhouse. It's usually her place, but something was pulling me in. I'm looking around, just killing time, when I see this desk she's got in there. One of the drawers is a bit open. I'm not a nosy guy, but something about that drawer seemed off. I walk over, tell myself I'll just close it and leave it alone. Yeah, that didn't happen. I pull open the drawer and there's a bunch of letters. These aren't like bills or junk mail. They're personal and they're all fancy with words and stuff. They're talking about missing someone and feeling things, and there's a lot of talk about plants, but it's not really about plants, if you know what I mean. I read these letters and my heart is sinking. They're to Amber, but they're not from me. Someone's writing to my wife about being together, and it's all hidden behind words about gardening. It's like they're using code, but it's pretty clear what's going on. I felt punched in the gut. Angry? Sure, but mostly just really hurt. I thought about yelling at her when she got home, asking her about these letters, making a big scene, but that's not how I do things. I'm the guy who's calm and gets the job done, not the guy who loses his cool. So I put the letters back, act like I saw nothing, and start thinking, what's my next move? I've got to figure this out, but I've got to be smart about it. This whole thing is a mess, and I'm right in the middle of it. After finding those letters, I couldn't just sit around. I had to figure out what was going on. I put on my thinking cap and went over every word in those letters, trying to make sense of all the fancy plant talk. Now, I'm no Sherlock Holmes, but I know how to put two and two together. The letters kept talking about the arborist like he was some kind of hero in a movie. I guess for Amber, he was. This guy wasn't just talking about trees and plants. No, he was saying stuff that you don't say to someone's wife. Not unless you're up to no good. I decided to dig a little deeper. Who was this arborist? Was it just a nickname? Or was this guy really into trees? I went through Amber's stuff, the gardening books, the receipts for all her plant stuff, looking for any clue that could tell me more. It hit me late one night when I was going through her computer. She had a bunch of emails about some big shot guest speaker coming to town to talk about trees. The arborist, the email called him. That was my guy. He was coming here to Boulder, and something told me it wasn't just for the trees. I started to lay out a plan. I had to meet this guy, see what he was all about. But I wasn't going to just walk up and ask him. No, I had to be clever, had to catch him when he didn't see it coming. I had to know what Amber saw in him, what he was saying to her, what made her think all this sneaking around was worth it. And I'll tell you, Reddit, I wasn't going to let this guy just walk into my life and mess things up without putting up a fight. Okay, Reddit, Randy checking in again. Now, let's get to the big show. Amber's been buzzing about this rare orchid for weeks. It's some fancy plant that's hard to find and even harder to grow. She's in charge of showing it off at the botanical gardens, and everybody who's anybody in Boulder's green scene is going to be there. I've got my plan ready. It's the day of the orchid thing, and I'm feeling like I'm about to step into a boxing ring. My guts are twisted, but my mind is clear. This is it, the day I face off with the arborist and find out what's really been going on. I show up at the gardens, and it's packed. People are everywhere, cameras are flashing, and there's this big curtain around the main event, the orchid. Amber's floating around, all smiles, doing her host thing. I see her, but I'm not here for her, not yet. I'm looking for him. Then I see this guy, standing off to the side, looking all important. He's got that I'm a big deal vibe. That's gotta be him. The arborist. I keep my cool and move through the crowd, acting like I'm just there to see the plant. Amber starts her speech, talking about the orchid, how rare it is, how it's a symbol of beauty and resilience. I'm standing there, listening, waiting for my moment. Then she says his name, invites him up to talk about the plant. As he walks up, our eyes meet. Does he know who I am? I can't tell. He starts talking, and I'm just watching, waiting. Then it's time. I wait for a pause in the chatter, a moment when the next word hangs in the air like a jump ball, and I take my shot. "Nice speech," I say, loud enough for heads to turn. But I'm curious. What does our guest think about loyalty? About honesty? Seems to me those are pretty rare these days too. The crowd goes quiet. You could hear a leaf drop. Amber's face goes white, and the arborist, he's looking at me like he's trying to figure out if I'm just some crazy guy or if the jig is up. I don't give him time to think. You see, folks, this man here has been sharing more than just his love for plants with my wife. And I think it's only fair that we talk about that, don't you? It's all out now. All the pain, the anger, the betrayal. It's out there for everyone to see. Amber's looking at me, then at him, and I can see the panic in her eyes. The crowd is whispering, murmuring, the buzz growing louder. There I am, in the middle of this packed event, with all eyes on me, Amber, and the arborist. I'm holding one of those letters I found, the one with all the flowery words that weren't about flowers at all. The room's dead silent now, and I start reading. "Your essence is the roots that ground me," I read out loud. People are looking around, confused, like they think it's part of the show. Our connection grows, unfettered by the confines of traditional gardens. Amber's face is a picture you don't forget. She's staring at me. All that calm and control she's got is just crumbling away. The crowd's getting the picture now, the whispers are getting louder, and I keep going. "Together we are wild, natural, untamed," I say, my voice getting louder. "You are the rarest bloom in my personal garden." No one's in doubt now about what's going on. This isn't about plants. It's about my wife and this guy. The guy, the arborist, he's just standing there, not saying a word. Amber's looking like she wants the earth to swallow her up, and I can't blame her. This is her world, and it's all coming undone right here, right now. I look at her, really look at her. "This what you wanted, Amber? This what open looks like?" I'm not yelling, but every word hits hard. I don't wait for her to answer. I don't need to. "I loved you," I say, and it's like the whole room takes a breath. "But I guess I was just another plant in your garden, huh? One you got tired of watering." I fold the letter, tuck it back in my pocket, and give the arborist a nod. "Take care of her, man. She's all yours." And I walk out. Just like that. I don't look back. I can feel the stares, hear the whispers, but I don't care. I've said my piece, dropped the mic, it's over. Walking out of those gardens, I feel like a weight's been lifted. It's not a happy feeling, not by a long shot, but it's something. Maybe relief, maybe just the first step in moving on. I get in my truck, start the engine, and drive. I don't know where I'm going, but it doesn't matter. I'm leaving that garden behind, and whatever comes next, well, it's gotta be better than what I'm leaving behind. I didn't stick around for the gossip. I went straight to a buddy's place, someone I knew I could trust. I needed time to think, away from the stares and the whispers. But I wasn't about to hide. I had things to do, moves to make. First things first, I called a lawyer. No more games. No more waiting to see what Amber might do next. I told the lawyer straight up, the marriage was over and I wanted out. The papers were drawn up fast, I signed them, and they were delivered to Amber. I didn't see her face when she got them, but I can imagine. Then I took care of the finances. Joint accounts got split, credit cards got canceled. Anything that tied us together, I cut it. It was like taking down a building, piece by piece. You don't want it to fall all at once, you take it apart so you can clear the site and build something new. I won't lie, it hurt. It felt like I was tearing out parts of my life. But it had to be done. I had to protect myself, my business, my future. I wasn't going to let Amber's choices take me down. The house was next. I loved that place, but it was full of memories of us, and I needed a clean start. I called a realtor, told them to sell it. I'd find somewhere new, somewhere without ghosts in every room. And my pride, well, that took a hit. But I'm a soldier at heart. I lick my wounds, I get back up. I started hitting the gym harder, picked up a few new contracts for the business, kept myself busy. I'm rebuilding, step by step. It's not just about getting back to where I was, it's about going further, getting stronger. Trust, though, that's a tougher one. I don't know when I'll be ready to trust someone like that again. But I'm working on it. I've got friends, people who've been there for me through all this mess. They're helping me keep the faith that not everyone's out there to backstab you. So there you have it, Reddit. The story of how my marriage ended and how I started over. It's been a hell of a thing, and I'm not through it yet, but I'm moving forward, one step at a time, and that's all any of us can do, right? Thanks for listening. It's actually helped, getting it all out like this. Here's to new beginnings, no matter how tough they are to come by. It would mean the world to me if you could subscribe to the channel. Thanks, and have a great rest of your day or night.